Okay, so for this video, I decided, why not go back and look at some of my very first stuff. This was 11 years ago, okay? So, let's check it out, my very first episode.
My name is Ryan, and today we're going to be talking about how to mix while you track. There's going to be 3 videos that I kind of have roughly outlined, 3 concepts that help me mix my song while I track the band. And it's not just about capturing the sounds blindly, but it's about capturing them in a way that complements the other tracks. Do I want something in my face or kind of in the background? It's best to decide that while you track so it doesn't fight you in the mix. So today we're going to be talking about the room ratio. And really all this is a relationship between 2 distances. That's the distance between the microphone and the instrument and the microphone and the wall, or a reflective surface. Right now, the microphone is about 40 inches from the drum and 60 inches from the wall. That creates a 2-to-3 ratio. So in effect, I have almost like a wet and dry knob, as if it were a plug-in for an effect in my workstation. But instead I'm using the microphone and the distance to control that amount of effect. So if I were to take this same drum and put it in a larger room.
Okay, so I can already catch myself doing a thing where I say something, I don't really complete the thought, I just go on to something else. This is usually where I would edit it currently, but it's interesting how not much has changed. One thing I used to do is almost yell at the camera, and I realized that if the camera physically was just too far away, it was almost like I was talking across the room, So I learned to psychologically gauge that into throttle that kind of voice energy by just moving the camera closer, picking different lens, etc. So that is one kind of interesting thing. You can see it in some of my really old courses, like the Clunker to Word class, where I'm talking like this, and I'm But Electro Voice 635A here on the dialogue, 414 BUOS on the overhead. I don't know what the kick is. Probably nothing on kick because I'm just demonstrating using the 414 the amount of direct versus indirect sound. Pretty good video so far. Again, this is my first episode here.
I could have the same ratio, the same 2-to-3 ratio of 20 feet to 30 feet. So, what can we do with this? Well, what's really cool about it is that we can decide ahead of time if we want something in the back or in the front of our mix. So like a gang vocal track where people are like hooping and hollering and we want kind of like that bar sing-along kind of vibe, we're going to throw the mics way back and get them just really deep in the mix. It's going to sound full and just kind of not interfere with the main vocal, but it'll be there. But maybe for like a background vocal where there's like some really tight harmonies, I might want to have them double the harmonies, hard pan them in the mix. So while I'm tracking, I'll flip the mic in Omni mode and throw the mic really, really close to their mouth. And that's going to get a really, really tight sound. So,
okay, this is counterintuitive. And I probably could have made a video just on this, about how Omni does not equal more roomy sound or something like that. The idea is Omni isn't just picking up more room. We don't care about that. What we care about is that Omni doesn't have proximity effect. And when you don't have proximity effect, you can get super duper close to the mic without tons of low end. So that means that it doesn't sound like you're that close, at least tonally, okay, if you're used to mic being boomy when you're really close. So put it in Omni or subcardioid or wide cardioid as people call it, but the antique term would be like subcardioid, and you're able to get closer to the vocalist and you get kind of a in-your-face kind of cool sound. Really good for like pop music, Billie Eilish type stuff, you'd have to have a very dead room to pull this off, but it's a really cool trick. It's counterintuitive, okay? It's not about the room. It's about being able to get close to the mic.
Let's put this into practice, and I'll show you what this sounds like just with a snare drum. I'll move the mic to 3 or 4 different distances.
I'll show you what this sounds like. See, that's I don't know why I talked like that, but again, I don't know who I'm talking to at this point. Like, it was weird. It was like I was just talking to a void in the camera lens, and I didn't understand really who I was talking to.
And let's just see what that sounds like. So I hope this helps you make better decisions while
Yeah, so the example wasn't as obvious as what it needed to be. Had I done this now, maybe I should just remake videos, right? If I were to remake this, I would make 3 more distinct variations of this, and I would kind of explore a little bit more. I think I didn't exactly know, oh, should I do single hits on the snare? Should I do a groove? What are the distances? Usually what I do is I play around with it for a while. And I figure out, okay, this is what I should do. This is kind of what works. Let's go ahead and set up a camera. Let's film it. And then I'll do the talking shot later, talk about it, and then edit it together. So it's really cool to kind of see this as the beginning, as the start for Creative Sound Lab 11 years ago. So this would have been 2014. It was in May of 14. Yeah. So yeah, let me know what you think of this. Maybe I should start remaking some old videos because some of these are hard to find. It's not easy to get to some of this stuff, how you have to hit next page, and just get to it. So yeah, let me know what you thought. Again, this is the concept here of everything starts when you hit record, even the mixing. It's really one fluid creative process. And when you kind of bake in certain effects, certain dry versus wet ratios, you kind of have to work with it later. It is a part of that track. It could be vocals, it could be a drum overhead, it could be guitar, acoustic guitar, really anything. I guess the exception would be like a direct instrument, like a DI bass guitar. But anytime you're using a mic in a room, you're baking in these effects, the mic placement, the tone of that mic, all those things. So you really do mix while you track, as I stated in episode 1 of Creative Sound Lab. Okay, see you next time.
tracking so you can mix while tracking the band.